And welcome to the No Show Sportscast. I'm Matt Klein. First pitch, tip off, kickoff, face off. We are bringing all of the news stories that have been coming to you over the weekend here on the No Show. Beginning, of course, with the Vancouver Canucks. We have to recap our local NHL team because, my goodness, are they on a run or what? What is happening right now? They have been what they started to be and who they are right now is a team that is not only functioning on all cylinders, getting their defense involved. The new acquisition of obviously Nikita Zadorov, who decided to take it upon himself to make a physical presence known to the Chicago Blackhawks on Sunday. I think we can now say that this team is not only dominating at home like they did against the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning earlier this past week, but now into the weekend, a shootout loss against Minnesota, understandably admirable. Casey DeSmith did his job, I think, to the best of his abilities because, let's be honest, he's been one of the best new acquisitions. Him and Phil Peronic and, of course, Zadorov, those three guys. And let's not even start with Sam Lafferty. So the Canucks have now been able to knock off a couple of big opponents as well as just getting they're getting ready for a lot that's coming down the pike because they need to be able to establish themselves as not just right up there with Vegas as the second best team like they were coming into Saturday and Sunday, but now a team that can not only contend with Vegas but be better than them. So they are able to beat the Chicago Blackhawks in a very, very close, coming down to the last minute kind of game. And I think that they played a little bit better than Chicago in the third period, even though it looked like Chicago was trying to push. They were trying to make a lot of difference because, let's be honest, that team, their season is on the line, and things are not that great for Chicago at all. Connor Bedard, obviously huge. First overall pick. This guy is expected to be the next Crosby, the next McDavid, the next McKinnon. Hard to really expect Chicago to be a team that once they add this guy, they're going to have to, for years to come, surround him. But the Oilers are kind of that team just like Chicago, except they are not able to figure anything out. Just like we saw them get decked by Florida on Saturday. But alas, every single loss that Calgary and Edmonton and Seattle are able to get, those are all just music to my ears. Because if you're a Canucks fan and you want to see them survive and thrive, and not just be kind of the same old Canucks that they've always been, but I think that they have taken another step because the hype is going away now. And the Canucks are now officially establishing themselves as we get into the new year. This team, Vegas, has to look out. Because for so long, for the Canucks, they had to look over their shoulder. They had to think, okay, Edmonton's crawling back up here. Calgary takes down Tampa on Saturday. But Edmonton is struggling in their last couple of games. They have been outscored 12-5 at home. That's 6 games each game. I don't know what is going on in Edmonton because we all thought that the addition of Knobloch was going to rejuvenate McDavid because he's been playing a lot better. He's getting points. I don't know if the team is getting any better. They still have loopholes. And I think that Rick Tocchet has been able to expose whatever loopholes the Canucks had last season because they are a completely different team than they were last year. JT Miller, second in the league, 45 points. And that is the guy. JT Miller is the guy that the Canucks signed. And we've been saying it all season because he's been that consistent. It's almost like Bo Horvat, you were supposed to be that guy, but you have disappeared completely. Nobody is going to remember your name in 5 years. Nobody's going to know who you are in New York, and you go up to them. Hey, I used to be the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. First of all, who are you and where is that? So I think it's a pretty great trade for these Pacific Northwest for the Canucks so far. And those are just one of the small things because there are so many small things that have finally been able to amalgamate here in Vancouver. So the Canucks are rolling. Keep it going. Like I mentioned on Thursday, on Friday morning, Thursday night, the Canucks, this isn't another test spot. This is what appears to be a team that is now Not only is the Western Conference appearing to be extremely depleted, but they can now steamroll over teams like this, teams like Calgary, teams like Anaheim, teams like Chicago, San Jose. All of these guys, on the horizon, and they're going to be able to leapfrog Vegas because of all these teams that they're having to play in the Pacific Division. At least it's looking great. But even LA's been a great team, but I just don't see them on the same level with Vancouver. Vancouver has been able to be better than them because of the way that they have handled adversity and the opponents that they've been playing as well. And the points that they've been putting up. First in goals for, goal differential. Canucks rolling, okay? Totally rolling. A back-to-back on the weekend, setting up Sunday. So I imagine the Canucks are going to get a nice rest on Monday, well-deserved. Hopefully we don't see them until Wednesday. But I think they are playing the Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday, I looked at the schedule, and they're playing every single Thursday for the next 10 weeks. So that's just kind of the schedule. That's just the routine that they're going in. We talked about Luongo on Friday. We talked about him being now in the Ring of Honor. And goaltending for DeSmith and for Demko has been spectacular. I don't even know how the goaltending has been able to look completely different from last season, and how DeSmith, he gave a valiant effort against Minnesota. And now we've got Thatcher Demko. If the Canucks stay at this pace, Demko's going to win he's going to win the Vezina. That's just one of many other awards that the Canucks are probably going to find themselves in, and this is just really excellent because this is exactly what the city needs, and we have to be rolling out the red carpet for them and be grateful for as long as this lasts. There's no way that this is going to last for the next 5 years. They're not going to be at a 670, 680 winning percentage. Like, let's just relax, okay? Let's just be grateful for what we have right now, and hopefully that these guys, the core, the young guns, Tocchet, they're all in it for the long haul. But, as I mentioned, the Canucks played Saturday and Sunday. They get a nice day off. They get some rest. Sunday, the game ended pretty quickly, so we can all enjoy some NFL action. And let me tell you, that NFL Sunday, that's quite something. The NFL really put on some entertaining matches for us on Sunday. I was kind of looking forward to the Dolphins and the Jets game because I really thought that this was going to kind of be the last kind of hurrah for the Jets, because I knew that if they can't beat Miami and they fall to 5-9, and Rodgers says that he's coming back, guys, Rodgers is not coming back. I understand that it looks like he may, because of Trevor Siemian having to be the starter now. Zach Wilson goes out with concussion, la-di-da-di-da. They released Tim Boyle over a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So Aaron Rodgers wants to play now in meaningless games. They're playing the Commanders next week, so it seems like a easy throw them in, see how you do spot. But they just cannot be doing this. So the Jets lose to Miami 30-0. And a lot of people thought that the Miami Dolphins had regressed significantly because they lost their starter. They lost Jalen Phillips. Tyreek Hill misses a game, and that game may cost him a lot. Now we're looking back and we're kind of appreciating what Cooper Kupp did 2 seasons ago, and we're appreciating what Megatron did in 2012. 2013, because Tyreek now is in a position where I think it was very wise of him actually to miss this game, because he could have injured himself more. And the Miami Dolphins, for all the people that thought that Tua needed Tyreek to be great, well, this appears to be a game where he just wanted to let everybody know, hey, I'm Tua Tagovailoa. And that's not even my real name. My real name is much longer than that. But you are not worthy. You do not deserve to know my full long name, or at least hear me say it to you. So just call me Tua, you lowly fools that think that I'm washed. Okay? Get in the back, outside. You're sleeping outside tonight. Okay? But this game, obviously, we're going to talk about the Bills and the Cowboys. But this game does tie in very nicely with that game, because we've got these home teams that are destroying opponents at home and putting up amazing numbers, and everybody thinks that's amazing and great. But the fact of the matter is that the Cowboys have no idea how to play football if they're not at AT&T Stadium. And I don't think that last week's win for the Jets should suggest that they are now a good team and that they can contend with the Dolphins, the same way that the Cowboys losing to Buffalo in a humiliating way. I don't think that we should say that the Cowboys are now a potential fraud. We're picking up the phone for them, and I'm seeing potential fraud. That's my caller ID, and I'm going to put it down, just like I did with the remote, because I'm not watching the rest of that game. For some reason, I enjoyed the San Francisco-Arizona game a whole lot more than I did the Buffalo and Dallas game. And I don't think Fox Sports, is going to appreciate that, because they probably had 500,000 people in America go from Fox to CBS because they thought just like I did, and I'm not watching that. At least the Cardinals can put up points on the board. I don't care about the Cowboys putting up a meaningless touchdown at the end. That's just ridiculous. Who scored that one? CeeDee Lamb had a rushing touchdown? Ugh, come on. What are we doing here? I'm sure fantasy managers are grateful that CeeDee Lamb did that, and that Mike McCarthy, not a great spot. Maybe it's just the rain. The rain puts a damper on all of the Bills, on all the Cowboys. But the Bills, Josh Allen, he only threw for 94 yards. He only threw 15 times because James Cook decided to turn into prime Dalvin Cook. He said, forget about our parents wearing your jersey and mine at the same time. They're just going to wear mine because you play for the Jets. And you've ended up exactly the way that team has this season. So the Jets lose to the Dolphins. A concussion, I believe it was on the forced fumble. That was just an ugly sight. The Dolphins just caught on to Zach Wilson immediately when that game started. And you got Raheem Mostert. Hey, all the props to him. That dude has 20 touchdowns from scrimmage this year. That's pretty impressive. Dolphins record. So Breece Hall can't run. This has been established. Alan Lazard, I'm surprised. I didn't know he was on the team. I didn't know he was still on the team. I thought he got cut. I thought he was in that Tim Boyle package. Now that we're seeing expendable members of Aaron Rodgers' extended family getting completely disbarred and court-martialed, as they should. Zach Wilson, 4 of 11, 26 passing yards. I mentioned how one game shouldn't be a microcosm or should, suggest that this is how the team is going to go moving forward. Hindsight's 2020. And we'll be able to make those judgments at the end of the year. It's not a big deal right now. It really isn't. Trevor Siemian cannot play football. That guy, I don't even know. This is I think because Bailey Zappi was able to score 17 points against the Chiefs on Sunday, that the Patriots no longer have the worst quarterback room. It's now the Jets because they got shut out, and Trevor Siemian, who I don't know why they signed this guy. They should have signed someone who was capable of playing the position, because this dude makes Zach Wilson look like prime Aaron Rodgers. And Mike White gets to play against his former team again. Jalen Waddle reminds us all who he is. Because, I don't know if that guy's... Maybe he should go to a team where he can look like CeeDee Lamb and Steph... I'm not even going to go mention Steph Diggs. That was a mistake there. That's what that was. I'm jumping back and forth between these two games because they were supposed to be the two games that I wanted to pay attention to and I want to enjoy. I actually thought the Cowboys were going to win. I was cheering for Buffalo. I was like, please, Buffalo, please take care of the Cowboys because you guys need to win. You guys are on the outside looking in the AFC. Alas, we all got what we wanted. We all got the Cowboys to be ignominiously brought low and proven to as many people as possible that they cannot win on the road. Like, for crying out loud. What is Gerald Jones thinking? What is he going to say to Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and all these boys? What is he going to say to the media? Yeah, this was a great test for us. This is a humbling experience. We got to play a great team. All the props to Buffalo. No, this was not a test. Okay, you cannot say that the Cowboys just had a great test against Buffalo. There is no way. This wasn't even an exam. This was. It's too late into the season for this. Okay, it's too late. It's too late. The Cowboys. Here's how the Cowboys played. They played like they couldn't even write the test. This wasn't a test. They were on the outside of the gym doors, knocking on them and saying, no, this test is for people that actually have a chance, okay? Because you cannot be saying we're learning, we're making strides. This is the best time of the season. And the Cowboys have proven that they can only play at home. I don't know how much more clear and how lucid it is to judge the Cowboys. Like, did they have a road win that did not include beating the Panthers 33-10 or whatever that was earlier in the year? Because please enlighten me. Beating the Chargers 20-17 on MNF, back in September 13th or whatever? That's not a fair comparison because the Chargers have sunk faster than the Titanic. And the AFC picture is coming. It's coming in looking great. It really is looking awesome because I want the Dolphins to get the bye. I want them to be the number 1 seed. I want the Texans to make the playoffs as well, but not at the expense of the Jaguars. I don't want the Pittsburgh Steelers to make the playoffs. Bravo, Indianapolis. Thank you very much for taking care of business because nobody wants to see Trubisky. Please, man. I would rather see Trevor Siemian and Zach Wilson every single week. I would rather see Zach Wilson play every single day rather than Trubisky. Get that guy out of here. Please get him out of here. Please. I don't want to see the Steelers for the rest of the season, okay? I don't. So put a cork in it, Pittsburgh. Stop. Get out of the hunt. They're in the hunt, but I want them out of the hunt. That's what I want. NFL news has been exciting. The NFL, it wasn't... That's the problem. Like, it was exciting. I was looking forward to it coming in. And I suppose more or less we got some of the exciting moments that we did, like when Cleveland beat Chicago. Chicago's looking more and more like they should take Caleb Williams. That's what they should do because that team is going to need that, and they're going to need Belichick. So they've got lots to look forward to, other than losing these rest of these years. Maybe they could beat up some lowly other teams, but I think the Vikings are going to spank them around, hopefully. And the Packers lose, so that's good, but the Buccaneers win. So that's also not good because, again, there's so many teams. It's jammed up just like in the AFC. You got so many teams, 7-6, 7-7, 6-7, 6-6, whatever the case is. But here we are. I guess nobody's 6-6 anymore. And the New York Giants, the Tommy DeVito hype is gone. Oh, that's too bad, That's really unfortunate. He got sacked a bunch. Didn't turn the ball over, but still. Maybe it was just New Orleans. Maybe it was being away from MetLife. Maybe it was being away from his family, being away from Sean. Well, what's his name? What's the agent's name? The funny guy. Well, I don't know if he's funny, but he's entertaining. Let's put it that way, for the media at least. For us lowly media men who are looking for something to, add on to players that maybe Daniel Jones needs one of those guys to make us care about Danny anymore. Regardless, the Giants, a team that they were streaking. And the Saints aren't exactly a team that I'm going to write home about either because they have not been exciting. They've been terrible. I don't like watching Derek Carr anymore. And Mike Thomas is invisible. That guy is semi-retired. He only does football on the side. And Olave had a busted ankle, so we get to see the Taysom Hill and washed up old Alvin Kamara. Surprised he's still allowed to play in the NFL game. But, hey, the Saints, it would have been better if the Giants won so that the Saints could go down, but that's just my personal preference because I want the Vikings to be at as much of an advantage as possible. But, hey, things keep rolling on. The 49ers keep rolling on. I was this close to saying Deebo Samuel's overrated, but he had 2 touchdown receptions. But that 45 receiving yards, I don't know, man. That's just not enough. That really is not enough. If you want to call yourself if you want to pull a Jamar Chase and say you're best receiver, or you're even in the elite company being drafted top 3-4 rounds, you cannot be having 45-yard games when your team scores 45 points. Okay? You need to go off for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. to even have that on your resume to be considered, hey, maybe this guy's an elite company. Christian McCaffrey's leading the team in all of the offensive categories here. That guy's the workhorse. That guy should get all the praise. He should get whatever overrated status Debo's had. Lay him low and put McCaffrey and give all of the kudos to him. And that offensive line played great, obviously. Brock Purdy, wow, okay. This guy's pretty good at football. And the Cardinals stink, and they should probably draft a quarterback and trade Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray looks awful. He cannot throw the ball. He's holding on to that thing longer than Zach Wilson.